It's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. A few moments ago, this crowd whipped into a frenzy as J.J. Watt, the Texans' D, was introduced, and this unit will be in for a stern test as they match up with Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. They've gone a full half season since their last loss, winners of 8 in a row.
And you don't get on win streaks like this without your defense playing a big role. They've created quite an identity, and I know they want and expect this streak to get to 9.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Panthers, things haven't gone exactly according to plan to this point, but boy, you and I down there with them before the game, they were fired up.
And they understand how important this game is. Win this one, they can start to think about a turnaround.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now the first carry for Marshawn Lynch, and he'll get this one up to the 26. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On second down, Lynch. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Underneath here to Hill. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
12 yards on the return that time. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Orchestrating the offense will be a man who, of course, won a national title back in his days at Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
I guess we have to nickname him the thrower, aren't we, or something like that.
After last week?
I mean, man, you're talking about over 400 yards throwing the ball. The running backs and everyone else may be looking at him like, hey, don't forget us. And he probably just tell him, listen, you want to get involved? Go out and catch some passes. I'll make sure you touch it.
The receiving numbers for Hopkins a week ago. I asked him before the game, did you know that you were close to 200 last week? He said, oh, yeah, I knew I was right on the doorstep, just short of it, but a touchdown as well. Heck of a game.
I like that he was honest with you because they always know. They keep track in their head. They understand their yardage. But how'd you like to be the defense this week? This was a week of open field tackling practice because you know he's going to get his catches. The key is to limit him after the catch, put him on the ground.
Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively, pressure coming off that right side from the DN.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
He's got his man on the crossing route. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And that one results in 35 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Hey,
now they'll run it on the toss. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great play there. His 17th touchdown now on the season. And the Texans have taken the early lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games and another good start to this one, out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
Extra point by Fairbairn, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Carolina getting set to take the field. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
Well, you know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's two different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
First down, the run with Lynch. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
Looking left side and completing it to Thomas. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down. Just the first quarter, but tackling going to be so important going forward. They've got to limit plays like that.
And that's something when you see it happen early in the game and they don't get him on the ground, you can always tell that they were concerned about it going in. Because I can just tell you, from my days, I remember being in college and worrying all off-season about our season open opponent, and they had a receiver that could shake and bake with the best of them. I tackled him on the first pass of the game, and the relief was incredible. Ended up having a pretty decent ball game. But if I'd missed him, it would have been a long night.
To throw on second down is Newton. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play. Now a first down carry. It's Hill. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Back to the ground, this time Lynch. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11.
And that one was a lot of fun right there, because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched him more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Jeremy Hill with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Panthers are now an extra point away from tying up this game. Getting your back involved, what's the importance there in the passing game?
Well, oftentimes you can create mismatches because who's going to cover him? And you get him into space, which is where he likes to operate with the ball in his hands. Oftentimes makes people miss, gets that run after the catch, and off he goes.
And into the end zone. This is taken near the 13. Nice little juke. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're in first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision?
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets it down to the 32. 12 yards is the pickup there. And they're going to face a third down.
It seemed like the situation was second and a mile to go for a first down, which screams what?
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a third down here. From the gun, here's Watson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan first down.
And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen, because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
And he's going to get this one down inside the 15. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a first and goal.
And the tackle's made there by one of the secondary members. And I can guarantee you, having played that spot in the huddle right now or on the field, they're urging for a little bit more support from the guys up front. I actually remember one game where I hopped over
and he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great effort there. His second TD of the game and 18th of the year. And the Texans are in for 6. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And it'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, they try to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Catch here, left side, Thomas. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. They'll run it. Here's Lynch. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
I know the game's changed. A lot of people would say it's evolved. Look, I'm a little bit Neanderthal, okay? I love this. No exotic formations, no misdirection. Just line up and run the darn ball, pick up the first down. I love it.
Yeah, third and short, that's what you're supposed to do. Like you said, old school, smash mouth football. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Moore. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A 10th carry of the game for Marshawn Lynch. And he won't get much. Maybe a couple. Down inside the 35 to the 34.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority one.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Hill. And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. Terrell Suggs. He's the one that gets him down. It'll be a loss of 5, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Hopkins on the ground over the middle. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
First down.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
Watson now to throw. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
To throw is Newton. And his throw here is incomplete. He was trying to get it to T.J. Jones that time. And it's 3rd down.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
Yeah, I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the 2nd quarter, a lot of time to change things. Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on third down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Third down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Black 99 Philly. Black 22. Black 22.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 40-yard line. The Clemson connection. Watson to Hopkins for a big one. And even 40 yards. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Reset.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down inside the 30. That's good for a Texan first down, a 12-yard pickup.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Texans will extend their lead. And that is the definition of yards after catch. They go short on the pass, and the receiver does the rest.
Seems so harmless, doesn't it? To throw it underneath, a short pass like that. But, boy, it gets dangerous in the hands of the right receiver as he makes a move and takes it the distance.
Fairbairn now to kick this one away. The return man here, T.J. Jones. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Jadeveon Clowney in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield and get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Quick slant, caught by Moore. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for third down. Throwing on third down, Newton. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, it's looking like another 3 and out here, and at some point, got to be able to put together a drive to keep your defense from having to go right back out on the field. I feel like things are starting to unravel a little bit, and we're not even at halftime.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Now a first down throw, Watson. Caught left side, Hopkins. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. On 1st and 10, Watson. And they're going to get him. He's taken down for a sack back at the 47-yard line. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Watson. Finds a seam inside the 40. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Watson now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10.
Reset. Come back. Hey.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10, Watson. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins as the first half is winding down. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. 5 plays there on that drive. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Fairbairn now to kick this one away. Now Jones. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. On 1st down, Newton. A dump off now to Hill. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout. With 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. A final shot before the break. Newton. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. A gain of 32 that time.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there, for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the changeup, and on that play, it worked for big yardage.
Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield, incomplete. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Defensively, Jimmy Ward in on the stop.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. A shotgun snap for Watson. Fuller brings it in over the middle. And he gets the first down here as he's taken down at the 24. And they just keep marching right along. 1st down on a pickup of 8 there. Watson now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. Now they try the right side here. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back to throw, Watson. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Texans will extend their lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. Fairbairn good with the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. This one taken just inside the 10. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game, a chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And, at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
On 2nd down, here's Newton. And they've got the hook up. This is Olsen. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged
into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
And this one's going to go the wrong way, losing yardage back at the 42. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one. Maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
That one good for 12 yards. And that'll make it 3rd and 1.
Look, the 1st down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it. And boy, the reward was there. A big, big pickup. And guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a 1st down.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this will depend on the mark. I'm not sure he pushed the line forward. And indeed he did. Not. They stop him. And the coach has decided to challenge this play. He has. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself. but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
From the gun on third down, Newton. And that is incomplete.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He is hoping to find the end zone for a third time, and we sit now in the third quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, he shifts past him, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. And third quarter here, you've got the lead. This is where that strong run game can really benefit you. Stayed in bounds there, kept the clock going.
I like all the points you just made there. And if you throw the football and it's incomplete, now you've stopped the clock, and you've helped out the guys on the other side of the ball. So keep it in the hands of those runners. Keep moving it. Keep grinding clock.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
To throw is Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue. Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Back now in Houston. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. 2 first downs have them up to the 41 now for 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there, and now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow him down.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. 4 yards on the pickup there, and now they're left with a 3rd and 8.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
He finds his target, Fuller. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down. And he's over 100 yards now after that last catch. Already, of course, leading the NFL in receiving yardage.
So he's done nothing at all to hurt his cause to stay in that spot. But I've been so impressed with how he's gotten it done. Body control, route running. How about the way he competes for the football at the end of the play?
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
He's had a big game tonight, and while no one's going to be overly concerned about that last play, you also know that the offense coordinator does not want to see that happen again. They want to get back to doing what they've been doing all game long.
Watson off play action. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it. But I think a Texan player was able to get his hands on it, and they will indeed hold on to the ball and the possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from it. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there, a 22. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. Dontari Poe in on the stop.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Carolina getting set to take the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Newton to Olsen there for a Carolina first down. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves. But they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week.
And look at this. Cam Newton intercepted a 3rd time. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent. And now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will cross the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and